Okay, everybody. Well, I'm finally going to get to replacing the timers today. As you know, I'm going to be replacing both of them with this one right here. Now, this is not going to be a detailed how-to video, but I'm just going to be like showing some things here and there of just me changing them. So I already have the timers off of the circuit breaker, as you can see. So as you can tell by the blank display. So obviously the first thing I'll do is take off the cover panel and then take the timer out of the wall. And kind of like the timer in the garage, I'm pretty sure when I pull this out, there's probably going to be a whole mess of wires in here. I'll just have to look at each of them carefully just to figure out where they go, you know, so that's only the important step. Okay, so let's get this out of here, and maybe the switch too if I have to. Okay, so I just checked all necessary wires with the multimeter, and it read pretty much that when I did it, so that's all good. So this may not always be accurate, but mostly the way you can tell is normally the wire that feeds in comes from the bottom, and the one that it's going to goes towards the top there, as you can see. And I think on this switch is for the chandelier. I believe the red wire is the load, and the black wire might be the could be the hot or the neutral or the common, depending on what it's doing. The load is basically, you know, whatever the switch or timer is operating, which in this case is the chandelier. So I think the same thing applies to this timer here. I know on the new timer it says what each wire color pertains to. I know the white wires, that's the common right there. And the common I know we're not going to be using for the new timer rather, since it's has a battery on it. So that wire we can just attach and then put them all together. And let me go ahead and open up the new timer and see what everything says. And as usual, Bella has to make her way into the picture. So here's the timer itself, and the wires behind it. So it says right here in the guide, we're doing a single pole wiring. Black goes to the hot wire from the power source, so that's coming from the circuit breaker. Blue goes to the load, which would be the lights, and the red wire we're not using since it's single pole, and obviously the green wire goes to the ground. So here's those wires right here, as you can see. And here's the other part I wanted to show you last time. There's the battery. Okay, it's one of those. I didn't quite know what they were called. And some new wire nuts if we want to use them. And whoops. And it says right there on the front, of course. But so far we've had good luck with these things, so should be okay. All right, so then we have all the wires set up. We're just going to cap the red wire since we're not going to be using it. So I'll do that when the time comes. So for now, what I'll do is I guess I'll just look carefully at these wires. And oh yeah, actually on this timer you can see the red wire is capped off because it's not used. So I think the same thing applies here. The blue wire goes to the load, and the black wire comes from the hot wire for the power source. So it's probably all tied in with these wires right here. So let me go ahead and, yeah, actually I think that would make sense given where this is going. So let me go ahead and get these wire nuts off and see where we go from there. Okay, so here's the old timer and the new timers together. You can see they are pretty similar. Similar color coding. There's that red wire for the three-way, what's it called? Yep, for the three-way wiring, load wire, hot wire, and this one has the neutral wire, as you know, because it runs off the house power. And this green one is the ground wire. So very similar. And on the new one here, you can see I already capped off the red wire, and very similar. Here's the hot wire, the load wire, and the ground wire. So obviously the only thing we don't have to use is the neutral wire. And here's that big mess of everything. This is the load right here. That's why I'm keeping it away from everything. This is the hot wire right here. The ground, as you know, the ground is kept bare. And here's the common or the neutrals. So basically you just got to, well, the neutral wires, you know, I'm just going to cap back up because we're not going to use it. But you can see everything else just tying together where it goes. And then this should be just about all set. And then I'll put the battery in after I get everything back in here. The battery, if you remember, goes inside this compartment right here. I'll just have to get something small to like pry it open and then slide the battery in. But you know, we'll get to that part when we get to it. So all right, let's go ahead and get some of this attached. Okay, so far so good. Neutral wires I just capped back up, as you know, because we're not using it. There's the ground on the ground wires. Here's the hot with the hot, and the blue to the load. So I am just going to put some electrical tape on here, as you can see, because there's a bare wire right there, which I don't want touching anything, so I'll just put something on there and that'll cover that up. And then comes the fun part of pushing all this back in here and getting the timer back in the box. We'll see how that goes. Okay, finally got everything in there. Just, little twists and turns of the wires. Made sure everything was good. Made sure no bare wires were touching the ground wire. I think we're all set. Now, I haven't put the breaker back on yet, but I do want to put the battery in now. So you're just going to have to go in here and just carefully pry this out. Remember, I did work on the timer in the garage, if you remember, and it was kind of similar to this. Just don't want to be too, because it is plastic, don't want to be too tough on it. Just going to slide it out a little bit. Let me get two hands to do that. Okay, there we go. So, let's see, it says the positive terminal of the battery goes towards your left. All right, so then that should be easy enough. And look, a jumper wire, that's cool, that could come in handy. I'm going to save that. So the front, well, let's see. Yeah, positive goes towards the front. Sorry, it's out of focus, hang on, sorry. Oh, it doesn't want to focus. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so positive goes towards the front. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that should be in. Bella, you looking at stuff again? All right, so then let's plop it back in. Okay, looks like the display is on. Okay, it's blinking 12 a.m., that's good. Let me see what happens if I hit the on-off. Oh, that sounds very good. Very nice. All right, let's go ahead and just go downstairs quickly, and I'll skip that part, but I'll just be right back up. Just going to hit the breaker. Okay, the breaker's back on, so we'll start with the chandelier. Awesome, that's working well. And this is a three-way switch, mind you. That could be why it had the red wire. I didn't consider that before, but that could be why. So chandelier works well. All right, let's open the front door. Take a look at the front lights. I'll hit the timer. Very nice. Yep, everything is on. And hit it again. Perfect. All right, so this timer is all in. So I'll put the cover back on and also program it, but let's go ahead and take care of the timer in the sunroom now. Okay, here we go. So foyer is done. Now on to the one in the sunroom. Again, breaker is off. Display is blank. And this one's not going to be as in detail as the other one. I'll just make this one a little bit quicker. So one repaired, or replaced, I guess I should say, and now on to the second one. Okay, this one doesn't appear to be quite as messy as the other one. So pretty much the same principle as before. I did take a picture of how the wires look, just to get an idea of maybe how I can put them back later. I did notice that this switch here is actually all taped up inside. Wondering if maybe I should have done that to the other one. I mean, it never gave a problem, and I made sure no bare wires were touching, but I don't know. What do you guys think? You think I should tape the one over there up? Because, I mean, doing that is easy enough. I don't have to worry about the timer, but I'll leave it alone for now. But if anyone thinks I should tape up the other one, I'll do it. All right, so same as before. Let's just go ahead and get all these wires disconnected. Okay, a new timer is in for this one. This one was a little bit easier than the one on the front, but as you know, trying to get those wires in can really be a task sometimes, but overall not too bad. All right, so I have the breaker back on, just like before. Let's try the switch first. Awesome. Okay. And then we'll hit the timer. Very nice, came right on. All right, so I guess towards the last thing, I'll put the cover plates back on, program them, and then we shall see how they operate in the evening. Now, I'm not going to try to record exactly when it turns on, but I'll just do it afterwards. After I know what the on time is, and we'll see how it goes from there. So let's get the covers back on. Okay, there we go. Cover plates back on. Timer all programmed, as you can see, showing the time of day. And then we'll go back over to the one at the front. And same for this one. Time of day, all programmed. And so what we'll do is, next, we shall see how it goes. Let me say that again. I'll record again once the time passes. that the timer is supposed to turn on the lights, which I believe it said 7:31. I have these timers programmed to go on at dusk, off at dawn. And that is one thing that, these electronic timers can do that the mechanical ones can't. But, hey, as long as they work, that's what matters, right? Okay, so for right now, everything's all programmed, back together, and we shall see how it goes when it comes to later this evening. And you know what, guys? Why not? Beautiful night tonight, very nice evening. So let's finish the video outside, shall we? So as you can see by the phone, it is currently 7:37. All right. And if we turn around to the front door, the lights are indeed on. Very, very nice. So this timer turned on, yeah, pretty much at 7:31. And like I said, compared to the old timers, the new timers make a much louder click whenever they turn on and off. So just like a more satisfying sound, So there we go. Front lights are on. Let's head over to the sunroom slider. Pretty awesome, huh? Alrighty. Air conditioners are off currently. Oh. Then again, good timing. And if you see over here, yep, the light is working correctly. And you can hear the dryer running, just finishing up some laundry. So there you guys go. 2 brand new timers, and lights are functioning just as they should. Very happy about that. So like I said, these 2 timers are the same as the one that was installed back in 2016 for the other light at the other door. You can probably see right there. And the one I put in the garage about 2 months ago. So if all goes well, should last just as long as that one has. Or have, I should say. It's still going. And there you go. Timers are both replaced and lights are functioning perfectly. Very happy about that. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.